say like previous day, I think some brief introduction part we have seen what is Azure and what are the options are there for SQL DBAs in Azure platform. Once again, I will go through one time very fastly and we'll see one demo like how we are just entering into Azure portal and how we can start working with the SQL databases as a database admin. Right. Okay. So just we know already what is cloud computing. Basically, we know that cloud computing is a platform where all the resources are readily available. I think I did not share, I don't know, this PPT. I will share you once again after today's class. We have so many definitions are there for cloud computing. Means like we know already instead of purchasing in a nutshell, instead of purchasing the resources like hardware, networking components, everything. So we are deploying the applications directly on Microsoft data centers, which are there across the globe, right? So those Microsoft data centers are basically what? Cloud data centers. That we have like so many benefits are there with cloud computing. Uh, so many definitions are there, but the standard definition by NIST, which is the legal authority, cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources. Basically, a pool of configuring computing resources are maintained and provided on demand, right? So where we can configure all the resources, servers, storage, networks, everything according to our requirements. That can be rapidly provisioned, can be provisioned very fastly and released with minimal management effort. Right. So in general, here the cloud computing model composed of five essential characteristics. Five essential characteristics, three service models, and four deployment models. Five essential characteristics we'll see. Service models are there like IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, main one, but we have like DPaaS, so many are there. And deployment models are there like public, private, hybrid. Okay, some deployment models. Generally say like what are the characteristics are there? On-demand self service, right? On demand, whenever we need to provision or whenever we need to create a database, we can create immediately. Means no need to purchase the hardware, no need to purchase OS, everything on demand. Broad network access, we can access the resources like databases, everything, which are there in the cloud from anywhere. From anywhere means what? Like again, to avoid the security issues, we have like we can restrict actually. We can restrict to access publicly if one by everyone. Or like same thing like how we are configuring, how we'll ask to configure firewall, right? Like for port opening. Same thing here also we have options are there, firewall configuration options. And we have like publicly we can make the resources available or within our network, private network. All the options are available. Rapid elasticity means we have seen like we can elasticity. Elastic means we know, right, which we can increase or decrease. So means resources can be increase whenever it is required and decrease whenever it is required. Measured service. Measured service means like depends on the usage we need to pay. We have different payment models are there. So it depends on usage only we are paying. Like how we are paying for our like electricity bill something. So we have multiple payment like models are there. We'll see. Resource pooling is it means all the resources are grouped or pooled, okay, in a particular location. Mostly we have on demand, which is one of a main feature, and elasticity. And we have like pay as you go options are available. Depends on usage, we can pay. Right. Uh, these are the five main characteristics are there, and again they are described here. We can go through later. Then next one say like we have three service models are there. Cloud computing main services are there here. I think we are familiar with already. Like we have infrastructure as a service, infrastructure as a service, where whatever the infrastructure we need, like servers, okay, storage, network components, plus firewalls, okay, like security plugins. So that complete infrastructure is available in the cloud data center. Yeah, where we have all the computing resources. Means no need to purchase the resources. They are readily available in the cloud data center. Suppose let's say tomorrow you want to install SQL Server. You want to maintain SQL Server in a dedicated VM in a right now already we know, right? Our SQL servers are running on VMs mostly, 90%. So, but those VMs are there in our local data center. Same virtual machine you want to maintain in cloud data center. In that scenario, we have to go with the IaaS service, infrastructure as a service, infrastructure they are providing. PaaS is a platform as a service, which provides a framework to develop and build applications. For example, let's say uh, one small application is there where we need like one, two databases of small size. For example, 10 GB, 20 GB, 30 GB, 100 GB. Only we need two DBs. Means I don't want to purchase one server or I don't want complete VM with the OS. I don't want a dedicated instance also. Just I want to deploy two databases in SQL Server. In that case, here we can go with PaaS platform as a service where we are placing our databases in a shared VM. Shared VM means what? In the same VM, one instance is there. In that instance, multiple DBs are there. Those DBs are from different vendors. Means what? Like I have my two databases. Some other uh, user or some other organization, they have deployed three databases in the same shared VM. Means what? Microsoft is managing the VMs plus already SQL Server is installed in those VMs. Just we have to deploy the database and we'll connect to these databases through some endpoint directly. That is like to reduce the cost instead of taking whole VM with the OS, for example. So we have PaaS services are there in in Microsoft Azure. In case of SQL DBA, we have Azure SQL database. Here we have Azure SQL VM, one option, Azure SQL VM. So where we can install SQL Server, like how we are working right now with on-premises VMs. Like same we can work in case of what IaaS. Whereas in PaaS, no need to install SQL Server. Already Microsoft has installed SQL Server in the VM. Directly will deploy our databases, which is for small scale applications and whose cost is very less. Okay, but here we don't have control at VM. We can't take RTP of the VM. We can't. We don't have control on the entire instance, SQL instance. We'll see like we can't. We don't have here SQL Server agent. Okay, other options like high availability. Those options are not available here. These are for startup applications, for small applications. Means high availability means whatever the high availability we are using in case of on premises like always on. Those options are not there, but some other options are there here to maintain what same copy of database into other uh, other location, geo replication, something such type of options are there here for in case of PaaS environment. Just remember, in case of IaaS, we have Azure SQL VM. In case of PaaS, we have Azure SQL database. We'll see now after how to create Azure SQL database first. Then we'll go to here. Then says SaaS is their software as a service, provides applications to end user. Means like this is for our like let's say you have developed one application, some like phone pay, GPay, anything, for example, uh, or some application where users can go create a subscription. It's like hotel management application is there. Already you have developed the application, front end and back end. As an organization, we have placed the application in the cloud. Directly our end users can uh, access the application by creating their own subscriptions. Means what here? Here, see, we need to like system team is required here. Network team is required in case of IaaS. Okay, as well as our DP team is there. Security team, like how we are working today, we need what all the teams, whereas in case of PaaS only DB team is required. Means as a database admin we can deploy the databases directly, we can configure the firewall access, whereas in SaaS is for non-IT organization, means who can consume. Means as a IT organization I will place my application as a SaaS application. They can, our end users can use it directly by creating the subscription. Means end users no need to install anything in their local laptops or in the desktops. Ready-made application. But for these two, IaaS is the base. Means Microsoft will manage this platform, IaaS platform. If we see here, all the three comparisons here. In case of uh, uh, traditional IT, everything the customer will manage. Let's say you have developed the application, you have provided the application to the customer. They have to manage everything: networking, storage, servers, middlewares, applications, everything. Whereas in case of PaaS, IaaS, in case of infrastructure as a service, here see, provider will manage all the resources, right? Like virtualization. means networking, storage. Provider means, let's say, Microsoft. In case of Microsoft Azure. In case of AWS, Amazon will manage all these things. Means what? Internal hardware, all those are handled by the provider. Whereas OS and above, like any softwares, our database, SQL Server, or any softwares, all those things we have to manage. Only they are providing the platform. In case of what? Infrastructure as a service, we can decide which OS we need. On top of that, what softwares we need, we have to install, we have to configure, we need to manage. In case of what? Infrastructure as a service. Whereas in case of PaaS here, even OS, middleware, runtimes, maybe .NET runtime, Java runtime, SQL engine, all these are maintained by provider itself. No need to touch all these things. So means what? No need of any particular teams here, networking, all those teams for us. Whereas data and applications only we are managing. Who is deploying the databases and applications we have to manage. Remaining things, everything they are providing. Suppose tomorrow you want to deploy SQL database. Already have said in case of PaaS, early SQL server is installed. Okay, directly will deploy our database in a existing shared SQL instance. In the same way, like they have deployed already like .NET runtime engine as well as IIS server, everything. Just will we are deploying the application directly. No need to create IIS or configure IIS servers, web servers. Whereas in case of SaaS, everything is maintained by the provider. Provider means here like up to here. In case of, let's say, my company is providing some school management application to all the schools. For example, see, up to here I will take from Microsoft. I will add my own applications. My database means school application. I will provide everything to the end users, okay, to schools as a SaaS application. Means it's in schools, no need to maintain any servers, anything. They don't want to know, they don't know what is Java, what is .NET, what is SQL. Just they will create a subscription, they will start consuming. That's why remember SaaS is for our end users, for non-IT organizations. IaaS and PaaS are for IT organizations. Right. These are the three service models are their main models in case of our cloud computing platforms. It may be any platform. That's why as a SQL DBA, we have to work in IaaS as well as what? PaaS environments. Yeah, yes, questions are there. Akshay.
Yes. One question is there.
Yes, please.
If you are considering in a IaaS, in PaaS and SaaS, the provider are providing the services. According to them, that we have to pay the charges. Suppose in a PaaS we are adding two databases. We don't need to
Correct.
add because we are using shared services. There may be another vendors they are having other
Correct.
databases also to pay
Correct.
according to our databases. If we consider for the SaaS, we are utilizing all the services which are provided by the provider by the Microsoft. So we have to pay more as compared with the PaaS services.
Yes, you are right. But here, see, in case of PaaS, what we are doing, we are deploying our, see, we are taking PaaS, means we are taking IaaS from Microsoft. As a organization, as our company, we are deploying the these applications and DBs and providing to the end user. Means if the application is like small scale. If the application is huge, then we have to go with IaaS environment as a organization.
Correct, correct. In that case, we need to we require our own virtual machine and instance.
Yeah, correct, correct. Which is there in the cloud, just like similar to on-premises only, but it is there in the cloud. Correct.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Any questions are there? Sridhar, other people? Okay, right. Let me show you before. This is the summary is there what we have discussed already. Here, see, like deployment models are there. Public cloud is there where we are placing our resources, applications, databases in the public cloud, nothing but in Microsoft data center, for example. Whereas private cloud is there, like why? Because sometimes what happen, especially like finance related organizations plus our government related organizations, they don't want to publish the data in the public cloud. Okay, like which is common for everyone. So they can have their own in their own local data center. Yeah, they can deploy the cloud. They can manage the same cloud setup in the local data center, which is called private cloud. Means like Microsoft will deploy the, yeah, they will build the local data center in their own location, organization location, which is called private cloud. Means it has all the features of cloud only, but specific to that particular organization only. You can we can see like we have like in case of Oracle we have for example exa cc means exa data is there in Oracle. Cc means cloud at customer. Cloud at customer means they will bring the same box which they are maintaining in public cloud. They will deploy that box with the storage, servers, networking components, everything at the organization so that it will be under their own control. Private cloud and its cost is huge. Means like small applications or like small scale organizations, they can't place their applications in private cloud. Hybrid cloud is there, which is combination of both public and private. Means some resources we can place here in public cloud to reduce cost, which are not very sensitive. And some resources can be placed in private, which is a hybrid cloud. Community clouds are there, which are very less in compared with other types, which are for particular community. Means like community means particular like organization, like Ministry of Health is there, for example. For them, they will maintain what specific cloud setup, which is comes under community. Again, community also it is combination of hybrid, basically private plus public. In general, it is hybrid cloud. It is specific to a targeted organization. Yeah, but mainly here, whatever we are deploying directly by connecting through Azure portal, that is actually public cloud. Okay, so let me what we'll do first, just 2 points we have to understand here before going to like before starting with Microsoft Azure. Already like what we have seen introduction part, all those are there here. What are the benefits of cloud computing? You can go through that one. Performance is very high here. Why? Because like today, like most of the resources which Microsoft is using, if you take like networks, it is a GBPS network. In the same way, drives or storage are all are SAS drives, whose IO is very high. Before starting with Microsoft Azure, just one point we have to remember here. It is a uh, application platform for the public cloud mainly. So Microsoft Azure is a growing collection of cloud services. That services are provided over what internet, which are called as cloud services. Cloud services can be used by developers, IT professionals to build, deploy, and manage applications throughout. Microsoft is defining actually. The cloud services can be used by any entities through our which are deployed or managed with a global network of data centers. We can deploy anywhere with our choice of tools. In general, remember we can deploy anywhere means normally what happened like suppose we are developing one application to a client which is there in Australia. Generally, remember you can't put that application in US or UK. Normally, option is there. We can deploy our resources, but we have these policies are there. That's why we have to place the resources within Australia data centers only. One is to uh, obey the policy rules of the vendor, plus to get some good performance benefits. So it is placed in the particular same region, similar regions of the vendor. Build your applications, even say extend on-premises data and apps, even like which is nothing but which type of cloud, hybrid cloud, right? Even like we can maintain some data in on-premises and some data in cloud. Especially data, we can go with on-premises in case of sensitive data. Applications can be maintained in the cloud data center. We can deploy cloud on premises also, which is private cloud. Like various benefits are there. Global scale is there. We can scale across what different data centers. Means like we can maintain the primary copy here in India, Mumbai data center. Secondary copy if want in other location. Means all this with the in line with the vendor agreements and policies. Right. Let me just to start with Microsoft Cloud, Microsoft Azure. First step is what we have seen already. We need to create a subscription, right? So we can go to portal.azure.com. So there we have to create a subscription. Once after creating subscription, then we can start in general uh, configuring or creating our provisioning our resources. But for practice purpose also same like previously we have seen just with some debit card or credit card. What you can do, you can create one subscription. After creating one subscription, yeah, portal.azure.com. Okay, we can create a subscription here. So after creating subscription, we can go with what? Uh, call provisioning the resources. For example, we go to azure.microsoft.com. Just they are defining what are the benefits are there with Azure, what are the options are there. Normally we have to start practicing, we can go with what? Free account, which is providing all these options. Means like whenever we create a free subscription, Microsoft will add $200 credits. So whenever you are trying to practice by using some resource, some credits are deducted automatically. It works for 1 month till 1 month, 30 days. Then the credits becomes zero after 30 days. Still, we can use some 20 popular services for 12 months, he's saying. Microsoft is showing here. Uh, but better while practicing after 30 days, better to delete the account. Better. So, or in general, as a in a organization, we can generally directly we can go with what pay as you go subscription. It depends on usage we are paying. This free subscription initially we can start. Later we can change into what pay as you go option. So what he's saying, move to pay as you go pricing to continue beyond 30 days or after credit is used up here. So here pay as you go. We have total support is there, technical support options are there. No upfront commitment, cancel anytime. Those common terms and conditions are there. Normally, sir, you can sign up here with your any ID, Hotmail or Gmail, any ID. So we can create our own subscription here. Login with suppose my account. Hmm. We have configured the authenticator. Let's see, just 1 second. Normally, you can create one. Just here, I have login. Just have entered into Azure. Now we have to create the subscription from here. Next, it will provide. It will ask you to provide the. Here, say automatically it is detecting my. I think in my location. Maybe it is not changed in my laptop. It is showing in the Indian rupees. Okay, so that we have to provide here details like phone number, all those things. Then we can, we have to provide the credit card details. Means I think 1 rupee or 2 rupees are deducted for validating purpose. Then once these 30 days are over, automatically the subscription is disabled. Once we enable once we enable then it is saying very clearly after your credit is over we'll ask you if you want to continue with pay as you go. So if you do not you will only pay if you what we use means if you want, if you change it what pay as you go depends on usage only we need to pay. But while practicing better option best option don't continue as pay as you go, just delete the account. Okay, subscription. Right. So like this, a very simple question answers are there here. Just to go with what. Let me just, I'm not creating, already have some other subscription. I will use that subscription. Right now I'm here in UAE. Let me enter my phone number. Just, okay. 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 Yeah, it is saying provide a credit card or debit card like that. Okay. So Yeah, depends on that. Like means like initially it will detect some basic amount. I think I have registered with my credit card here for Teams purchase Teams with this card. That's why it is showing maybe in Indian rupees. Okay, so like that's here. If you say next, the sign up. Okay, we'll sign up successfully. Means like subscription is created successfully. Once the subscription is created successfully, then what we can do, we can start practicing. Okay, we can go to portal.azure.com. Then we can create whatever the resources we need, we can create. Let me connect to the portal with my some another account. Then we'll see what are the resources, what are the options are available. Just overview we'll see. But Azure, uh, yeah, environment architecture we'll see. Uh, what is the exact architecture where we are placing our TPs, various networking components, those things we can understand. Let me just hold on one minute. Let me connect to portal by using some other credentials. One second. Step by step, this what I'm discussing today, like just we'll see how to create a SQL database first. For that, already have created a step-by-step lab material. I will share with you labs. Want you can practice. Uh, yeah, this actually earlier I was working as a tutor for some online portal, so I have created here and. Step by step is there like how to create a Azure SQL database. Once we log in into portal, we can say create resource. Under databases, we have one option called SQL database. So here we can mention the details, okay? Database details, everything. Let me just log in first, log into the portal. And the database here, the database should be accessible from where? Okay, the database should be accessible uh, from directly from anywhere, for example, anywhere. Okay, so means public, right? So if want to access the database, in general, in real time, we are not accessing through public network, right? In real time. So we'll integrate with the organization network, means our security team who are working with Microsoft Azure. Right. Okay. So, yeah. Uh, second. Okay. So next year, like, let me this time start it. Let me log into the console. One second. Second. Login is failing. One second. Yeah, just have login to your portal.azure.com. Means once you create a subscription, we can log in actually. Portal.azure.com. We can, with the help of our here ID is displayed, our ID. Now, here see, this is our home page. Okay, from this portal itself, we can access or we can provision the resources in any environment, means or any data center across the globe. Maybe some charges may be different from data center to data center charges, as well as some applications are like resources may be different. In this data center, we may have some AI related resources also. In some data centers, there may be no AI related like that. But mostly all the data centers has maximum all features, all the resources. Okay, we can search here also SQL database, or we can say here create resource, or directly means regularly use resources are listed here directly. You can start using this option SQL database. It is saying utilize a fully managed, see here, utilize a fully managed relational database service, perfect for accelerating application development and simplifying management tasks. Free training from Microsoft, some it is showing. Okay, so go to this one, create resource. Same thing, databases. See, various means like Microsoft Azure is built by Microsoft, right? But it's not meaning that it is only for Microsoft softwares or applications. It is for everything. Why? Because it is a common platform, right? So it is we can have like our SQL databases as well as MySQL databases, PostgreSQL, like all the options are there here. Okay, so it may be Arkle also we can uh, create here. We can host here. MongoDB, all are there. But here, if you see this one, SQL Server 2017 Enterprise Windows Server. Windows Server, these are the VMs actually. Okay, so if you want to manage a VM, in that you want to manage SQL Server dedicatedly for us, dedicated to us. This comes under what? IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Okay, these are our DBs directly. Okay, let me take this SQL database. Okay, okay. Now, now is saying something like offer something, no problem. Here, yep, pay as you go. Some subscription I am using means it will show us the subscription name here. Resource group. Generally, remember, architecture we'll see again, total Azure architecture, but we have to understand here, Azure is a collection of resources, right? So the resources should be placed in a resource group. For grouping purpose, we need what? This resource group. So resource group is compulsory, okay, to create any resource here. Fine. Let me create a resource group. Uh, Existing resource groups are there here for lab purpose. We can use this or we can create. Normally you have to create by clicking here, create. Just put some name. Okay. Okay. Resource group name. Resource group for SQL DBs. Something. Here there are no permissions it is saying, but whenever you create a new subscription, you can create. Here I am saying some existing resource group name I am using, database name. any database name, sales, I'm saying. Select a server. See, this is the first time we are deploying our database, right? So that's why we have not created a server. Created server means already Microsoft has installed SQL Server. Just we have to create a endpoint here. We are not creating or we are not installing SQL Server actually. So it is saying select existing server or create a new. The connection string and credentials will be based on the server something. Okay, create new. Server name SQL TSTSRV1. I am saying any name. The location. Why? Because resource was created here. The same location. Which type of authentication mode you want? It is asking. See here. I'm going with the SQL authentication. We'll talk about this later in detail. Let me create one login name, any name, with some password. SQL SQL login. We are creating. Okay. Yeah. One server is created. Actually, endpoint it is actually not exactly server. Elastic pools option is there here. We'll see later. Workload environment. Which type of workload? Okay. You want to deploy. Okay. Development or production. Let's say I'm going with development. Here see compute plus storage. What is the purpose it is asking? Like how many CPUs you want to allocate in the background, how much memory. Okay, from that shared server. Let's say you can configure here according to our requirements. Let's say I will go with the basic thing. See, depends on this what we are selecting here. The price will change. Say per month prices for this DB. Okay, here see I'm going with the basic uh, practice with basic so that the credits will not go immediately. So basics here like we have here see in SQL database, Azure SQL database, we are not allocating RAM CPUs. Here we are calling as DTUs. DTUs, database transaction units. DTU. In basic, we have 5 DTUs per second, means 5 transactions per second with the 2 GB buffer cache size, which is allocated for us for this DB operations. We'll see that DTUs, all those things apply. Means just have selected the basic one. Then uh, backup storage redundancy. Where do you want to store backup? Okay, so for point in time recovery, choose how your point in time recovery and LTR backups are replicated. We'll see later, but just what I'm selecting here LRS, locally redundant backup storage. Means backup storage means in which data center we are placing our database in uh, East US. The same East US, what they will do, same region. In every region, generally remember, we'll have 3 data centers in general for redundancy. In the same region, in another data center, they will maintain the backups, means copy in 2 data centers. This is locally redundant backup storage. We'll see this one, other options are available with us. Then if I go to networking, see how do you want to access this database? See here, no access means within the cloud with other applications we can access, not from outside. Public means from any network we can access. Okay, suppose let's say I'm saying add current IP address. Yes. Okay, whatever the IP is there, my system IP. For that IP, yeah, for that IP, this IP is added automatically in the firewall so that from my machine, from my host machine, I can connect. We can add multiple IPs also. Suppose Sridhar wants to connect, okay? So we can add the IP. If we check what is my IP, doing like this, actually it displays the IP. So that IP, if I add here, you can connect. Why? Because we have said public, right? But in real time, we'll have this private endpoint. Private endpoint in real time. Okay, just give me one. Yes, sorry. Okay. Here see, allow Azure services and resources to access this server. This is also in general compulsory. Means what? Why? Because in the same Azure platform, I have created the database as well as we have deployed some ASP.NET application, for example. Okay, from that ASP.NET application, you want to access this database. In that case, we need to select this option also. This is what my current IP am asking to add in the firewall so that I can open SSMS in my local computer, local laptop. I can connect to this database. Okay, connection policy, configure how clients communicate with your SQL database. We have some policies are there. We'll see that later. Then in the security, we have mentioned already, like authentication mode, we have mentioned. Some other security options are there. Those things we'll see. All these later we'll see. Backups here. Like use existing data means if any existing data is there, start with a blank database by default here. Restore from a backup or select sample data to populate your database. So none means blank database. Backup means it will ask where is your backup. Means what? From that backup, database is created. Okay. Or if we say sample, this sample database is created. AdventureWorks Lightweight LT. Okay, so it is saying selecting this sample will modify compute plus storage settings configured in basic. Okay, so let me, I'm saying none here, means empty database is created and collation we know already, right? Instance level setting is it. With the same, this is the default set instance level collation with same collation database is created. Maintenance window is there here. See by default 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. default means like means at that time means there is no downtime actually. Microsoft will run the they will perform what all the like re-indexing automatic rebuilding indexes those act backups all those are scheduled here default maintenance window, but we can create our own maintenance window also. No need to go with this option. Tags are there just to group the databases, generally resources in Azure. We have tagging option is there. Suppose you want to put some environment development, for example. So whatever the databases you are creating, you can group actually with the same tag. Benefits are there. One is grouping of benefit is there. Second benefit is there. Second benefit is there. Pricing like billing also can be generated tag wise. We can group for easy understanding. Okay, so it is saying that estimated cost per month is here almost 407 for this database with how much storage? 2 GB storage. Means maximum data how much can be stored? 2 GB. And how many transactions per second? 5 transactions per second. Okay, parallel. Default TLS protocol it is using 1.2. The summary it is showing what we have selected. Summary. Right. Let me say create. It takes some time, like 3 to 5 minutes time. So once it is created successfully, already we have selected like a public, right? That's why I can connect from my SSMS. Let me open SSMS. Deployment is in progress. You can see here step by step what it is. Yeah, performing the activities. Once the deployment is done, so yeah, so we can yeah create it. Okay, still running. Deployment is going on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Once it is deployed, that's remember for a startup organization, we can understand now like 400 plus or maximum 500. The data is very small, 2 GB, for example, for startup applications with all the features. Means no need of licensing, all those things, but we can configure still some other options on this like backups, other things we can configure directly. Deployment failed, it is saying maybe some policies violated here. Conflict, what is the reason? Server is busy with another operation. Should not be to happen. Yeah, if something like uh, is there, for example, like in general, like we can log actually in the help. If we go to help, we can log the request with the Microsoft team. They will can share the details, so they will yeah troubleshoot that issue in general. So let me check here. Let me go back to home SQL databases. Yeah, it was failed. What is this strange error? Let me go again. Sales DB. Already this server is there. Deployment, development, networking. Okay, I want to allow current IP, security. Okay, we try to redeploy again. Okay, this is be fine. Going to basic apply review and create. Let's try again. Normally, this error we can share with the Microsoft team. Something like is unexpected one. Your option is there, like to redeploy in case of unexpected error. Yeah, I think it is completed successfully. We can go to resource. Okay, the overview is displayed. Like, see, right now we are in this database, not in the this SQL instance level, in the database SQL database. See all the options we can do here. See, copy the database from one shared instance to another shared. We can restore from the existing backup. We have seen while creating also this option was there, backup restore option. We can export actually the data, like import export options are there, right? We can export the data from this database. We can configure firewall here. I already have configured to allow my local IP. This is the local IP, my laptop IP. We can add a extra firewall rules here. Suppose like if you see what is my IP in your laptops, okay, like Atul or Sridhar, anyone, just type me in the chat. I will add here a rule name, any rule name, for example. Start IP same, end IP same. We can mention the range. If single IP you want to allow, we can mention here. Start IP, same IP, and IP also same. But if want to allow, let's say everyone you want to allow, then there is no IP, right? Yes. So now remember, once you add this rule, for example, save, now see anyone can connect with the valid credentials. Okay. Yeah. Now see, let me, I want to connect actually, how to connect. Check here, like we have credentials are there with us. If want to reset the password, I can reset here. I can import the database here. You can import the database. One second. All these options I will show you step by step. No need to get confusion. Just remember, we have created the database which is available, which is there in this location. Okay, this is the admin. Server admin means like through which you have to access these databases, our databases. Some common features are there here. See, we can configure like auditing, uh, automatic tuning, TD, like our by default automatic tuning is configured. It is in all the other options we can configure here. But just remember to allow access, right? So we have allowed access in the security module. Let me try to connect to this database from my SSMS. Okay, so first what we have to do, what this is the server name, right? Copy this server name, open SSMS. Where is my SSMS? Okay, connect. Yeah, enter the server names here. This is our endpoint name dot database dot windows dot net. Why? Because it is a shared one. Go to SQL Server authentication. This is the user I have mentioned, right? Pass, password. Yeah, connected successfully. Even you can also connect to this database with this password, just sample password. Now here, connected successfully from my laptop. We can see our database sales DB, security. We have my login and nothing else here. There is no agent, everything. All the other features are not there. Means indirectly, I think maybe you remember like this one will get in which type of scenarios like content database, right? Uh, yeah, if you means directly we are connecting to DB, we are not connecting to in general in content database. But here, if I go to system DBs, here we have master database. Again, master database, why it is there? If you create one more database, our database details only are there in this master, not other users database details. Now, if you see here 12.0, right? 12.0 or 12.0 version, something it is saying. Okay, so means like it is Azure SQL database is V12 version. Azure SQL database version is what? V12 means which is almost all. Actually 12.0 is 2014 version, right? Yeah, but here we have a standard version called V12. V12. But if you try to run these normal commands, which we used to use in on premises, we can see here Azure SQL, Azure, okay, SQL Azure 12.0, which was released here. Okay, means 12.0, it's not meaning that 2014 version. It's a Azure SQL database version 12.0 or V12 version 12. We'll call it as. Means that's why we have to understand here one more important point. Difference between IaaS and PaaS is what? In case of IaaS, we have seen no option is there to choose our own version, our own version. But here in PaaS, there is no option. We'll go with the same default PaaS version V12 with the limited options. Okay, so now Same thing, we can take new query on our we can navigate to our database, new query. So we can work with the database. Same, we can create tables, we can work with the database. Okay, but suppose let's say you want to work with the database here itself, in portal itself. You don't want to connect through SSMS, for example. Okay, so if want to connect through portal itself without connecting through SS, normally we know that if you connect through SSMS, it will be easy for us to work with, right? But if want to connect directly from here itself, we have options are there. Means from portal itself, we can connect by using SQL window option. For example, yeah, right now we are in database. If I go to this server, this is our server name. Here, see, database level, all the options are there. Okay, various options are there like settings, data management, integration, security, monitoring, automation. All these we can implement here for this database. If I go to this server, in that server, what are the databases are there? It will list out here. Means these are like instance level settings. Let me go back to here. Or in both the locations, if you see here, we have one option is there query editor. Means what directly you want to connect to database here itself in the portal itself. You want to work. Okay, so we can say okay. Query editor, small, yeah, query editor is there, connected to database successfully. We can see here what are the tables are there, views, stored procedures, all those things. Okay, so we can run the queries, same thing. In the portal itself, I am running the query. Run, same select and run. Yeah, table is created successfully. If you refresh, okay, all those are same, like insert into data import, export, all these options we can do. If I go here, we can see one table. In time. So like let's say like we can work with the commands here by using what query editor with the basic commands. Then we can yeah then we can take one more new query. We can go back to login page. We can take the query from some file, okay, to run. You can upload 10 files at a time to run the scripts. Okay, if any deployment something are there, save the query, export data. We can export data also from like in which format you want. Okay, so it is saying file download error. Given data URI is means actually we need to configure the URI. Okay, we'll see that step by step. This is the basic things like how we are creating the database, how we are accessing, okay, from our SSMS window, and how we can work with the query window, basic queries. And if I go to here, see SQL, this database. So here we can configure here. we can reset the password of this user. We can configure here firewall settings. Same thing, the left side we have networking option is there. These are the two settings are there. We can add our own firewall settings. But actually these are used in real time by our networking team. Okay, so that they can create a private dedicated network and they can allow us. Right. That is like how we are creating a sample database. The same way, if want to if want to delete something database, we can delete from here. After practice, normally better you can delete the database, or if you want to delete the database as well as this server, everything, you can delete the resource group, right? Why? Because all the resources are grouped in the form of what? Resource group. You can drop the resource group. All the resources will be deleted automatically. If one particular DB, you can select this database. You can delete here. Are you sure it is saying yes? Just to avoid the cost, okay, we can delete like this. Right. So in the same way, like we have discussed already, if you want to create a VM, right, virtual machine, if I go back to databases, when this is here SQL Server Enterprise on Windows Server, like which VM you want, it is asking. Free license VMs are there, nothing but developer edition is free, right? But SQL license is free, but Windows Server license is there, right? Billing is there for Windows Server. But if we have Windows Server license already, while creating this VM, we can mention, okay, I want to go with what? My own license. We can enter that license key. That option is also available. No need to purchase again Windows license here. For example, while creating what? This VM. So which comes under what? IaaS infrastructure as a service. That's why in SQL, Azure SQL VM, we have options are there, like similar to like what we have in on-premises environment. All the images are there. Where do you want to install SQL Server? Or you want to only empty Windows Server? We can create here. Yeah, only Windows Server. After creating Windows Server, then we can install SQL Server. Why? Because by default, in any server VM which we are creating, we have this high-speed internet in the VM. You can go to Microsoft website manually. We can download if you create one VM. But in this scenario, we have this with SQL Server. It comes along with what? SQL Server. We have different images here directly. Right. So that's why remember just first step is what? In first step is creating subscription. Under subscription, next level is resource group. Second level, we have to understand after creating subscription. Under resource group, we have resources. Okay, it may be Azure VM, normal virtual machine, or it may be database, or it may be app service. App service is there for our applications. Okay, all the services are available here. Fine. So what we'll do, we'll again start with Microsoft Azure. We'll see exactly what is the architecture is it, what are the different data centers are available, what is the meaning of region. Okay, so like some terms are there, hierarchy is it, what are the different types of services are there, overall services. So then we'll see the main services which we need as a DBA, which for as a DBA we need to understand some main services: compute, networking, storage. Apart from database, we need to understand some main services that okay, we'll discuss. Right. Okay. So let's we conclude the session here today, but we'll continue again tomorrow. We'll see. I will show you one again how to create a VM. Okay, a VM with SQL Server one time. After that, we'll go step by step. Actually, remember we have three main options for SQL Server. One is Azure SQL Database, which comes under PaaS, which has default version V12, right? Second one is Azure SQL VM, where we have flexibility to select our own version, everything, Azure SQL VM. Second option. Third option is it Azure SQL managed instance. Okay, Azure SQL managed instance. This is what third option. In case of Azure SQL managed instance, this is for medium scale applications. Small scale applications, we have Azure SQL database managed instance. Okay, it's for medium scale applications. Whereas like Azure SQL VM is for any application, especially for large scale applications. These are the three options are there for SQL DBAs. Okay, main options. Okay, so anyhow, like first example we have seen, like how to create what SQL database. All the steps are there here, which are there from some lab, uh, from some website, so which I have developed earlier, but right now I'm not going with those people. So it is it. Just you can go through that one. Then we'll see manage instance. Then we'll see VM. After that, we'll start with step by step. Okay, right. Any questions are there here? It's either Atul or Jay or Aslan.
No.
Just we are discussing, just remember what is what, still we have not started like step by step. Overview I'm trying to discuss here so that you should get some idea what all options are there. We'll dig into one by one. Right. Sridhar, any?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. It's fine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right. Okay, then let me conclude the session. We'll continue tomorrow. I have stopped recording tomorrow. What time will take? We